When in the preparation for a shot, one of the right ways to hold the ball and stand is on the left. My performer is doing a preparation shot shown on the right. To start with, my performer has a good standing position as his legs are shoulder width apart and his toes are facing the rim of the basket. This is beneficial as it gives the performer balance and will give him more control when he goes to shoot. He is also looking at the basket as he should be, as it gives him more time to analyse the basket and aim to where he shoots. When bending the knees, my performer is bending his knees. However, compared to the elite performer on the left, my performer may not be bending his knees enough, which may lose some power. Then he is still bending them, showing that some power will still be generated. Therefore, the way my performer is standing, he is similar to the performer, which would improve his chances of getting the ball in the basket. In terms of holding the ball, you normally have one shooting hand and one guide hand, where the shooting hand is slightly under and behind the ball and the guide hand is on the side of the ball to keep the balance and the control of holding it. The image on the right way of holding the ball is shown on the left. No, the image of the right way of holding the ball is shown on the left, and compared to my performer holding the ball on the far right, my performer is correctly having his guide ball on the side, which can give him his control, and his shooting hand under and behind the ball, although his hand may be a bit too far to the left, which could be more central in order to get the ball more in line to where he's shooting. Overall, his holding of the ball is good. A lot of sources suggest that your elbow should be below or in line with the ball. Therefore, with the elite performer, his elbow is in line with the top of the ball. But with my performer, his elbow is pretty high above the ball. That may suggest that he's bringing the ball down too low. As a result of the preparation, my performer has a good standing position, a good holding position. However, his shooting hand could be more central. His elbows need to be in line with the basketball or below, but he has done well with bending his knees, looking at the basket and keeping his legs shoulder width apart. When in the execution stage of the shot, there are some things that my performer does well and some things that need improving. To start with, my performer's knees are bent, whereas in the perfect model he has straightened his legs, which means my performer may not get the power he needs, as he would need to straighten his legs to generate that power. What my performer does do well is that his elbow looks around 90 degrees, which gives him more control and will improve his accuracy. However, he is holding the ball way below where he needs to hold it, as the ball needs to be slightly above where the rim is in his eyesight, and it will be closer to his vision. As you can see on the right, he is holding the ball in front of his chest, meaning that he may not get the accuracy he needs. With the way he holds the ball, my performer is holding the ball with his fingers. However, the ball does rest on his palm, which will not give him that backswing he needs for that more accurate shot. And with my performer holding the ball with his palm, he wouldn't be able to roll the ball along his hand. My performer also has the ball a bit too far away from his body, as the way he is about to shoot looks more like a chest shot or chest pass than a shooting shot. So he would need to bring that ball higher up and closer to his body. What he has done well, however, is that his shooting hand is under the ball, meaning he can control that power and accuracy, which is similar to the perfect model on the left. My performer is still looking at the basket, which is good as well, and has his feet shoulder width apart. As a result of this execution, there are many things that my performer is doing well, such as the 90-degree angle of the elbow and the ball handling. However, there are aspects that need improving, such as his knees straightening and the position of where he's holding the ball. And finally, there is the recovery stage of my performer's shot compared to an elite performer's shot. Throughout all the stages, my performer has kept his eyes focused on the basket, making sure he knows exactly where he's aiming and make sure he's facing that way. He has also kept his feet shoulder width apart the whole time, also benefiting his balance. However, one of the mistakes that my performer has made is the flick of the hand or the wrist. With his shooting hand, he has correctly flicked the wrist where that rests facing the floor, but he has flicked it in line with his eyes, where on the left hand side Steph Curry has flicked his wrist quite far above his head, showing that my performer may have not thrown the ball up high enough. Another point needs to be made is that my performer's balance hand is also flicked, suggesting that that hand also made an impact on the shot. His balanced hand should be positioned the same way as when he was holding the ball, as you can see on the left. This can impact the shot, as the shooting hand should be the one doing the work, where the balanced hand is there for more comfort and making an impact. Overall, my performer has been consistent in some aspects in the recovery stage, and where he has kept his eyes on the basket the whole time and kept his feet shoulder width apart. However, the flick of the balance hand needs improvement, as that should not be happening. So when it comes to the technical model, there would be advantages and disadvantages of them, as it might not suit everyone. The benefits of using a technical model can be crucial, as it goes right into detail when you have that visual third-person image of yourself doing that performance, so you'll be able to see more clearly what you may be doing wrong. It would also be easier for the coach to explain to the performer what they're doing wrong when they have that image in front of them, so they can both analyse it together. And when you have that image of the model, you'll be able to analyse it whenever and come back to that model, perhaps compare it to a model after a few weeks and see the difference in performance, and that would really put confidence into the performer and know that they're doing the right thing. Also, the software that people use in the tactical model is crucial in helping an athlete, as has some gadgets where they can slow down the videos or draw on them or get the angles that they need so they can get the right shot. And it can go into even more detail and try and improve the performer. However, the technical model may have some limitations. For example, in order to improve the performer using this technique, the coach would need to already know the perfect model of that move. That may require a lot of research and know the ins and outs of it, where perhaps other methods may work instead. Another limitation may be the softwares or good quality cameras may be too expensive to some coaches, and performers therefore may not be worth spending a lot of money on this type of model. And finally, it might just not help the performer. As I said before, some people have their own techniques in sports, and that way is the way, and their way may be the only way that works for them.